We had 48 hours in Rome, just 2 days to explore one of the most iconic cities in the world. And while we had no plan, we wanted to see as much as possible. Between ancient ruins, grand cathedrals, and the best pasta of our lives, here's what it's really like to see Rome in just 2 days. As soon as we got to Rome, we decided to go get checked into our Airbnb, which happened to be right next to the Trevi Fountain.
Wow. So we're staying down there.
We booked this trip only 2 weeks in advance, and because of this, we found a great last-minute deal on this Airbnb in an awesome location.
There's the Trevi Fountain. Super cool. We are super lucky to have found a place like this.
We're trying to find some food. We haven't eaten all day and it's like 5 o'clock.
We're taking a moment to pull over and get on Instagram and see. We've saved some videos about like the best places to eat in Rome.
Like, what is that? I want it.
So we found this pasta place on Instagram. We're gonna go give it a try.
What is this? This is where 4 Roman Republican temples and the remains of Pompey's theater were. The significance is that this is the site of Julius Caesar's murder.
What? Are you serious?
Huh?
That's crazy.
Rest in peace, I think.
I think that is a really good start to our time in Rome, just coming around the corner and finding something insane like this. The history here is just overwhelming. It's so old. I feel like you could just spend months here looking at all the historical sites and learning the story behind every little thing.
It seems like in Rome, there's something that will make you stop around every corner. If you can't tell, Taylor was quite excited to be going into her first Roman cathedral. This is the St. Andrea della Valle Cathedral. The artwork on the ceiling was incredible, and they had mirrors pointed up at the ceiling so that you could study the artwork more easily.
I'm starting to think that we are never going to make it to dinner. There's too many cool things to stop and look at. We were in that church for like 30 minutes just staring at the ceiling. We got a sore neck.
I'm so excited.
I think this is the definition of getting like some homemade Italian pasta. We can see the grandma over there making the pasta. It's homemade right there. It's as good as it gets.
This is so good. Show me while I'm taking a huge bite.
Okay, I think that was a great initiation into our week of eating Italian food. That was so stinking good. Like, best pasta I've ever had. So now I think that the plan is to just keep walking around until we are too tired to keep going. Hopefully we'll see some of the most famous parts of Rome and kind of get acquainted with the city a little bit tonight before we start really exploring in depth tomorrow. Okay, according to Google Maps, we are about to walk past the Pantheon. This is one of the coolest things in Rome. I think this is it.
Don't tell me they got some music out front. Oh, nothing makes me feel like I'm in a movie more than stuff like this.
Oh, that is so cool.
I didn't realize
This
it
is
was so
huge.
big. I just love this stuff. Look how old this is. What the heck?
No way.
Oh my gosh.
That's so cool. You see these things on TV, on videos and photos, and you're like, wow, that's amazing that someone could build that. And then you see it in real life, and it is just 10 times bigger than you thought it would be. That's crazy.
The Romans are nuts. That's so freaking cool.
Okay, so we got some jackets, and now it's getting pretty late at night, and we're gonna go walk over to the Colosseum and try to see that for the first time at night. That's like the main thing I wanted to do and
Sorry,
see
Trey, I
here.
gotta do my duo. I think the Trevi Fountain looks so cool at night. It looks really cool during the day, but at night when you can see all the lights, it's kind of magical.
No matter how many photos you've seen, nothing prepares you for the Trevi Fountain. It's massive, dramatic, and somehow always crowded. But even with the chaos, it's magical.
Wow, crazy how much quieter it is being late at night. It's only like 8 o'clock. I kind of just can't believe the fact that in just a minute we're gonna just come around the corner and see the Colosseum. That's insane. I don't know what this is, but it looks crazy old.
So this is actually the world's first covered shopping mall. It was built nearly 2,000 years ago, and it had 6 levels, and there were once up to 150 shops and apartments.
I just get honestly a little bit overwhelmed when I see history like this. I just can't even fathom how old it is.
There's just no limit to how much you need to know.
I think we kind of see what little structures over there? See it? We just turned the corner, we're so excited. We think the forum's right there.
In the morning, we're gonna come and see these places in the light. We're gonna do like an audio tour so that we can learn more about it. And we'll tell you all about all the different things, all the different buildings and what makes them so cool. We're also going inside of the Colosseum in the morning.
That guy, oh.
There's nothing quite like exploring at this time of night. The lights on the Colosseum gave off such a fun vibe.
Yeah, no big deal. We're just walking around completely by ourselves, right in front of the Colosseum. Why is there nobody around? I'm shocked that they let people come down here. There's just a section down below where you can get right up next to the Colosseum. You can get a perfect shot of you next to the Colosseum.
So crazy.
What a freaking night. This is the definition of a place that'll just make you feel small. Okay, so it's getting pretty late, so we're gonna take the metro back, and tomorrow we're gonna go inside of this thing. That's gonna be the coolest thing ever, so we'll see you then.
Wow, this is about 7 a.m. and there's already a whole bunch of people at the fountain. It's really surprising. I was expecting there to be like nobody out here. We're gonna come out at like 5 or 6 tomorrow, just as soon as it gets light, to hopefully have nobody else out here and get some cool photos of this fountain. We're gonna go try to find some breakfast and make our way over to the Colosseum. We're supposed to start an audio tour of the Colosseum in about 45 minutes, so we're super hyped about that.
This looks yummy.
Okay, starting the day off right, we got a really good looking croissant, and now we're going to make our way to the Colosseum. I don't know, do you want to take the subway, or?
Do we have time to walk?
We probably do.
I wouldn't mind walking and eating this.
Okay, we're gonna walk all the way to the Colosseum. I think it's around a mile, and we are going to do an audio tour instead of like a guided tour where we go with the group and we have a tour guide. We get to kind of go at our own pace and still be able to learn all the things we want to learn. So we'll see how the audio tour goes.
I wish we had to find the vanilla ones. Chocolate ones are good, but I think these ones are where it's at.
Once again, you don't walk anywhere too fast here because you get stopped by insane things like this. So we ran back to the Airbnb twice after getting halfway there because we forgot some things. So we're running a little bit late now, but we're almost to the Colosseum. So after we're done at the Colosseum, our pass that we bought also includes the Forum and also Palatine Hill. So those ones are more like ruins, hasn't been as like well preserved as the Colosseum, but those will be cool to walk through as well. Gosh, this area is just so crazy. Look at all that.
That is the ancient shopping mall that we saw last night. This is the view from the other side.
For some reason I wasn't expecting this much of a line at 8 a.m., but I guess it makes sense.
I cannot believe that we're here right now. This is so stinking cool. We're trying to figure out what areas we can actually go to, but the way that you can see like the tunnels underneath, a monarch butterfly. Look at the monarch butterfly.
The Colosseum was completed in 80 AD, built as a massive amphitheater where over 50,000 Romans gathered to watch gladiator battles, animal hunts, and other epic events.
I wonder if there's anything else we can see, or if it's just that one spot.
The holes in the walls are actually from people who took the metal out of the Colosseum after the Roman Empire collapsed. They reused it to build other things like churches and homes.
We're using the Rick Steves audio tour, and it's actually free. If you don't know who Rick Steves is, he's basically the grandpa of anyone who ever wants to visit Europe. Can't imagine the excitement to people like 2,000 years ago coming and just like walking up here to go get their seats.
At the top of the stairs, there was a museum with all kinds of cool artifacts from the ancient world. One of the things I found the most interesting is that the Colosseum actually had a retractable roof for shade, just like some modern stadiums.
Trying to make our way outside before it gets too crazy busy. Okay, we found our way out.
I feel like we need to turn on some like really intense music.
Yeah, this is the cool view.
In my opinion, the absolute craziest thing about the Colosseum is that there was a time when they actually flooded the arena floor to stage naval battles, just like in the new Gladiator movie. You might be wondering what all those zigzagging walls are on the floor. What we see today is actually what was beneath the arena. The real floor used to be made of wood and covered in sand. Below it were tunnels where gladiators and animals waited to come up through trapdoors into the arena. It's thought that the Emperor's Box was right above where this bronze cross is.
It's another great Roman invention, brick and concrete. They built hollow shells of brick, then filled them in.
The audio tour is super interesting. I definitely recommend doing the Rick Steves audio tour. So it said that the best gladiators had like fan clubs and even like product sponsorships. At one point in 100 AD, they did a show every day for 100 days and 2,000 people died. That was one death every 5 minutes. They just do all kinds of crazy things. Like the final event was always two great gladiators fighting against each other, but then between those, they do the ones that were supposed to be funny, like they'd have a dwarf fight a one-legged man, or have like a dog fight a porcupine.
Wait, were these just wait.
Oh, is that what the seats were like?
Yeah.
So that's probably what the seats were like.
Our time in the Colosseum was absolutely mind-blowing, and it's without a doubt one of the coolest places in the world. By the way, this was our first of the 7 wonders of the world. Make sure to subscribe so you can follow along as we check off the other 6. Next up, it was time to check out the Ancient Roman Forum, basically the downtown of ancient Rome.
Okay, so we just left the Colosseum. It was the coolest thing ever. And now we're making our way to the Forum and Palatine Hill.
This was the center of everything: politics, religion, business, you name it. Back in the day, this place would have been packed with temples, markets, government buildings, and people just hanging out. It's crazy to think that we're walking in the same streets where Julius Caesar gave speeches and Roman senators made decisions that shaped the world. There's just something wild about standing in the ruins of an empire that ruled most of the known world.
This is where Julius Caesar's body was burned. And then his house was just a little bit behind this. I love how this looks up here. This view can make you really imagine what things looked like back then. Okay, we finished up at the Forum and now we're gonna go grab some pizza. I just looked up best pizza in Rome and this place said it was number 3, so we're gonna give it a shot.
We're so hungry.
And yeah, in Italy, they put raw sausage on pizza.
What kind did you get?
Tiramisu too.
Next, we wanted to check out Vatican City, the smallest country in the world, but home to some of the most famous art and architecture on the planet. It's an independent country right in the heart of Rome, and it's also the headquarters of the Catholic Church and the home to the Pope.
Okay, we're officially inside of the Vatican City. So I assume that's the big cathedral.
The guards of the Vatican.
So there are the guards and their job is to guard the Pope and the Vatican, and they wear these funny uniforms. I don't know why they wear those, but I like it. If you know why they wear those uniforms, drop it in the comments.
Oh my gosh. This is beautiful. The attention to detail is crazy. I bet it took them hundreds of years. This is crazy. Wow, that's so much gold. Imagine how much that costs.
St. Peter's is massive. Pictures don't do it justice. It's honestly one of the most impressive buildings we've ever stepped inside.
So this is the Vatican's very own post office, which just shows that it is, in fact, its own little country. That was an incredibly cool cathedral. Basilica, what is it? We're sitting here and just listening to another Rick Steves audio telling us about the Basilica we just went into. So apparently the Apostle Peter was killed right here. Before this was the Vatican City and it was all like the Catholic headquarters and run by Christians. It was run by the Romans, obviously. And these spires, this whole circle, this used to be a chariot racing course like in Ben-Hur. So this big huge column in the center was the center of their course and the chariots would race around it. And it said that at halftime for entertainment, they would kill Christians. And apparently the Apostle Peter was one of them.
All in all, it was under construction for 120 years. One of its architects was the great Michelangelo, who topped it with a dome.
Got a long walk back. We had a really good dinner. That was overall a really good day. I think we're gonna get up really, really early in the morning so that we can try to get that Trevi Fountain shot without too many people there.
And the Pantheon.
And the Pantheon. So we'll try to explore a little bit at like, literally like 5 a.m. because this morning at 7 it was already busy. So we'll give that a shot and we'll see you in the morning. Bright and early.
It's literally 6 a.m. on the dot, and there's actually a ton of people here. Okay, don't believe social media, because like you low-key need to get here at like 5.
So don't sleep, because you also need to be places late.
That is crazy. We got down here at 6 a.m. and it was already busy. Obviously not as packed as it's been during other times, but there were a good 30, 40 people down there. Man, this is the only place we've ever been. Like seriously, the only place where it's still busy. Oh my gosh, look at this. Gross, look at I was saying that about the dead rat in the middle of the street with its head chopped off. That's this. Oh, and it's eating it. Gross. Oh. Shocking.
I didn't even see the rat. Oh my gosh, it's gonna run over the rat.
Gross. I almost stepped on a dead rat with its head chopped off in the middle of the street.
I thought we were looking at how big that bird was.
And then this giant bird comes down and starts eating that rat. I'm a little scared of those stinking birds. When we were in Scotland, in Inverness, one of those birds swooped down and stole a croissant right out of my mouth and hit me in the head.
It sounds really funny, but it
was
wasn't funny.
It was so dumb.
Trey has a history of being attacked by birds, and he just like didn't need it that day. He had just gotten a cookie croissant.
So I think that is the first place we've ever been to where it's still busy at 6 a.m. Usually
literally 90% every other place we've been to. You can go out at 6 right after sunrise, and there will literally be maybe one other person there getting photos, but Trevi Fountain is the exception. There is no way to get that place to yourself. I don't know what kind of things are going on over there at night, but up until like 1 in the morning, we can just hear people like cheering and screaming all night long. Kind of cool. I wonder what they are doing. If you've got any idea what they'd be cheering and screaming about, let us know in the comments. We've been really curious. Right now we're making our way to the Pantheon, and we just want to see a couple more of these sites one last time before we have to leave Rome tonight, and we're gonna head to Capri. It's gonna be quite the public transport day, trying to get from here to Capri. We gotta take 2 trains, a bus, and a ferry. Hopefully we can make it, but it was definitely a quick 2 days in Rome, but I think if you do just have a limited amount of time, it's totally doable and worth spending 2 days in Rome. Obviously it's ideal to spend 3 or 4 or more, but we do think it's definitely possible to see some of the most famous things and the things that are probably on your bucket list with just 1 or 2 days. There's actually nobody here. Well, it turns out you can actually get the Pantheon to yourself. Gosh, this thing is so cool. This might be my favorite thing here. That is so incredibly cool.
The Pantheon was built almost 2,000 years ago. The top is a dome and is still the largest unreinforced concrete dome in the world. There's a hole at the top called the oculus. It's the only source of light inside. And yeah, rain does fall through the oculus, but the floor is slightly curved with drains, so it never floods. It used to be a Roman temple, but now it's a church, and even some Italian kings are buried here. In my opinion, it's probably the coolest building in Rome.
I've been reading this book, and it's super long, and I've only been reading it for a few weeks, so I haven't really gotten into a lot of like this stuff yet, but I know that in a couple weeks I'm gonna get to some things that happen here and more about this place, and I know that I'm just going to be wishing I was back so bad. I'm gonna be obsessing over the fact that we were actually here and I stood right here. This is a place where the more you know about the history, the cooler it is.
It was founded between 27 and 25 BC. So this is like super, super old, but also that's only 2 years.
They built this thing in 2 years.
It's gone through a couple fires, and the last time they like reconstructed it was in 125 AD. So like still super freaking. We can't go inside, but it's open so that you have like this access to the gods. What they did is they made the material lighter and lighter and lighter, and put like really heavy supports kind of down at the bottom, so it would never have a risk of like actually collapsing in, which I think that's pretty cool.
The purpose of these grooves that are in there, it's not to just have it look cool, it's to make the concrete thinner and just not weigh so much.
I think
really
it's just
cool.
so stinking smart. It's crazy.
Trevi Fountain, you can't really be the only person there, but here we're for the most part getting this completely to ourselves, being able to really appreciate this with nobody around, without the big crowds. It's only 7:30 in the morning. I'm gonna be thinking about this one for a while. This is the side of that building. Super cool. It's like a big round circle. I don't know what to call it. So we weren't planning on this, but because this is our last morning here, we decided we want to go back and see the Colosseum again.
I just don't think I can get tired of that.
I don't know. Well, the weather held up just long enough for us to have this great couple days here, and now it's starting to rain, getting a little crummy for the rest of the day. But we really had awesome weather while we were here. I think we're really lucky coming this time of the year. But we're gonna head back to our Airbnb. We gotta check out, and then we gotta catch a train and a ferry and a bus and another train to Capri. Not in that order.
Yeah.
Go subscribe so you can see the rest of our week here in Italy. It's gonna be amazing. Already been so much fun so far. So thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.